Incredible Hulk here, and today we will be building our power plant by putting down some of our 5x solar panels. And the 5x solar mod is listed in the description below. And what the 5x solar panel does for us is it makes one solar panel equal 5 solar panels. It doesn't make it to where it doesn't take, okay, let me rephrase that. It doesn't take a single solar panel and make it 5, as in it's worth 5, but it takes the same amount of resources as 5 solar panels, the same amount of time as if you were building 5 solar panels, and it's hard. It's not hard, but it's more difficult to put together than a single solar panel, but it produces the power of 5 solar panels, and it doesn't take up as much space, which is the key factor, is that it's a space saver. So, like I said, it's not really a cheat in my opinion, because it uses the same amount as 5 solar panels in resources right here, where you can see where it takes 15 construction components, 320 solar cells, 10 computers, 20 steel plates, 5 large steel tubes, and 25 metal grids, and 35 construction components again. Those are 5 times the amount of resources necessary than as if I was building one. And to save time in the video, I edited out me running back and forth to get the parts, which is why it looks like I have an endless amount. That way you're not sitting there watching me run back and forth between the cargo hold and just building. That way we can just get straight into the building. As you can see, we put the first one in the middle, as close to the middle as we can of our rotor, and then we built 2 on the sides. We're not going to have the resources to fill all 3 in right now. We're only going to have the resources to fill in 1, because that's what you start with when you land on with the orbital lander. You only start with the resources to build 6 solar panels, so we can only fill 1 in, and we could start a second one, but we wouldn't be able to finish it, so I'm not going to waste the time to slap the solar cells into it. And as you can see, we finished the middle one, and then we're checking out the degrees of the rotor to see where that line's going to have to move in order to get the solar panel facing into the sun properly, which it looks like it's going to need to be -45, because 90 would start rotating it away from the sun. So that's just me showing you there that we still have enough solar panels or solar parts to build a single solar panel rather than the 5x ones. But we're not gonna mess with that at all. So next we're gonna be building some batteries, because we want our solar panels to recharge our batteries and use that as a buffer to produce power for our station, because our station's going to require a lot of power by the time we get all of the assemblers built and all of the refineries built. So we're just going to be building some batteries. And for starters, instead of building a pilot's chair, we're just building a simple passenger seat, because it doesn't take as much resources, and you can sit in it and do basically the same thing as if you're at a console. So I just sat down in there to mess with the rotor. And the reason why we turned it off before making any adjustments is that way it doesn't start spinning and going way the heck out of whack in case we take the velocity all the way up. As you can see, the torque values are insanely high, and the brake value is insanely high as well. That's another mod that I use, is Stronger Vanilla Rotor Pack, and that as well is listed in the description below. And what that does is, if you've played Space Engineers before and you've built stuff with multiple rotors, your ships tend to sometimes bounce because the rotors aren't catching right. There's a glitch in them. I don't know if the devs are in the process of fixing it or not, but somebody's modded them to increase the torque value and the braking force value. That way it snaps it, and there's so much pressure behind it, it's hard, it won't move. So that's why I have that mod enabled. And we set it the rotor to negative 45 degrees. That way we can catch as much sun as we can. And it should have stopped, but it didn't. Where did it stop at? It stopped at negative 53 instead of negative 45. What the heck? Okay, let's we're moving it around to see if maybe we can manually adjust it to hit where we want. But it's messing around a little bit. So we're going to put that back at negative 45 for now, and then we're going to reverse it to go back to 0 to see exactly how far off it really is. Kind of a calibration factor. And as you can see, it went past 0. And now we're going to check to see where it stopped. And it stopped at an additional 22 degrees. So if we go to negative 22, when we go back, it should hit 0. So we're just going to play around with that a little bit. There's a reason why it's doing that, and I'll show you at the end of the video, well, towards the end of the video, what it is. Well, not the end, but in a little bit coming up, we'll show you what it is that's causing that. But right now, we're trying to get it within the parameters so that we can get it back to 0. And as you can see, it went to 1. So what the heck? So we're going to go ahead and turn down the torque and brake value, and as you can see, the current angle is now matching what we want it to be, which is what was causing it to go farther than our limits. It went beyond our limits because the torque value and the brake value were set higher than needed. And now it's properly set, and we should have our negative 45 degrees. We're going to turn down the velocity so that when we do start to rotate it, it doesn't like spin out of control and doesn't smack anybody, make them go flying. But we're going to leave it set at negative 45 degrees to catch as much of the sun rays as possible. And now we're going to start building our batteries. Wherever they are, there they are. We're going to build our batteries, that way we can start charging our station up and have that additional power. We're going to take out, we're going to rebuild this. We're just taking it out so that we can place the battery symmetrical. I originally was going to place the batteries while sitting on the ground, but then I decided I wanted to do a view from the top looking down. That way I can place the bar and the control panel in a way that we can see it. I don't know why I didn't destroy all 3 of the ones, because I'm going to place 3 of them. I don't know why I didn't just destroy all 3 and place all 3 at the same time, because now this is a little bit tedious. Of every time you switch over to the part, it goes back to the default position, which that's what that was the default. So now switching back and forth, all I'm doing is making myself rotate it, which is kind of annoying. I wish there was a setting that you could keep your default, you could change your default positioning. And we, as you can see there, we went back and forth and got more parts again, instead of having to have you guys watch us. And I'm going to rebuild the bridge, not the bridge, but the end of the solar farm. And now we're going to finish this battery, and we're going to check to see how long it would take to charge it. And it's going to take 4 hours to fully charge that off of that one power supply, or that one solar panel. Now that we've incorporated a second battery, how long is it going to take to... That one's going to deplete in 2 minutes. We want it to charge. Now we've completed the third battery. How long is this going to charge? Oh, no, it's depleting. Okay, now it's charging. And we're going to go sit back down and play with our batteries a little bit, because we want to, instead of having 3 charging batteries, we're going to set it to where 2 of them are discharging to charge the third one faster, because when you have all 3 batteries on recharge, you can see the deplete or the charging times is astronomical hours. So we're going to set, when you charge 1 battery at a time, the hours decrease exponentially. 1 battery charging generally takes 4 hours. So when you have 3 batteries need power, that's a bigger load and longer charging time. So we're trying to make it to where we're only charging 1 battery at a time. But that's our power plant and our base setup. And next we're going to go over building the factory. Thanks for watching.